Your daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality. Welcome. This is Daily Health. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. Now, this podcast contains some quotations, images, and or excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. Fair use refers to the right to reproduce, use, and share. Welcome to all my new listeners and my day ones. This is your daily health, and I am Tony Williams. Now, today we're going to be discussing the topic stress less. Yes, stress less. Now, it's a lot going on, and it's so much that we stress over everything, whether it's huge or small. We stress. Stressing about the pandemic, stressing about a stimulus, stressing about bills, children, work, and it goes on and on. Stress, chronic stress, is not healthy for anyone. Now, research shows that chronic stress is a national epidemic for all genders and ages. Now, to deal with this, unpack, if you will, this problem, well, it's a matter partially mental health as well as partially physical health. So the raw truth here, now the causes and solutions to chronic stress are a very complex mixture of socioeconomic, environmental, genetics, physical, and spiritual factors. So all those have to be taken into consideration when speaking or dealing on the subject of chronic stress. Now, believe it or not, there are different types of stress. And some are even positive. I'll say that one more time for those out there in the back. Some are even positive. The type we need to pay attention to is chronic stress. This is the stress that makes it hard to sleep well, eat well, and it makes it nearly impossible to lose weight. And you find yourself fighting one cold after another. It's the stress that can both cause medical conditions and trigger and or exacerbate flare-ups from existing conditions. This kind of stress depresses the immune system, alters our moods, and damages our professional as well as personal relationships. Now, on the positive side, yoga, meditation has been shown to lengthen the protective caps at the end of your DNA strands and keeps us more youthful. I mean, ongoing stress can change our DNA for the worse. I mean, as a country, we are already struggling to address many health issues that, well, it turns out, are closely tied to chronic stress. There are not enough specialists or practicing healthcare professionals to address them. Is it a wonder why people turn to social media to feel less isolated? But only to find that social media itself can turn into a source of amped up toxic stress. Now, let's be honest here. There are things in life that we can do things about. And there are also things in life that we have no control over. And the hardest part for a lot of people is to let go of the things that you cannot change. Let the stress go. Let the worry go. Now, it's natural to be concerned about something, but when it overruns your life and affects your physical, mental, and emotional health, then that's chronic stress, and that's way more than concern. And there's enough going on to not continue to stress ourselves out. Now, almost 1/3 of those surveyed say they visited a doctor about something stress related. 57% of the survey respondents say they are paralyzed by stress. 43% say they are invigorated by stress. 51% of the women surveyed say they don't see friends at all in an average week. 59% of baby boomers have never been diagnosed with a mental health issue. 52% of Gen Zers already have. Gen Zers, Generation Z, if you will. Now, just over a third of our respondents say their job or career is a regular source of stress. Among millennials and Gen Zers, the chronically work-stressed rise to 44%. More than half of women, around 51%, say they feel bad about their appearance weekly, and 28% say their appearance regularly causes them stress. Now, only 34% of men say they feel bad about their appearance weekly. Another 52% of respondents say financial issues regularly stress them out, well above the 35% who cited jobs and careers as the next most common stressors. 47% of our respondents, with women and men almost evenly matched, say their response to stress is to take it out on themselves. Now that causes stress in itself. But as I stated earlier, there are things in life we can do something about, and there are things in life that we cannot. And we should not stress ourselves out about being stressed. So the goal is to stress less. So how can we do this when there's so many in America that are seeing from day to day so much stress, experiencing so much stress, from the senseless shootings, a nasty political environment, catastrophic weather, increasing suicide rates, and factor in close to home stressors such as caring for a loved one, parenting a learning disabled, autistic, depressed, or anxious child, managing your own chronic condition or addiction, looking for a new job. Now, place on top of that the everyday issues, annoyances, traffic, train delays, nasty co-worker, long supermarket line after an even longer day. So yes, we can tend to feel overloaded, overwhelmed, out of control, and unsafe. Stress in the modern world is a constant. When stress doesn't let up and is paired with the feeling that we will have little to no control over the circumstances that are creating it, that is called chronic stress. Over and over again, research points to one key fact: prolonged or unremitting stress exacts a stunning toxic toll on the body, brain, mind, as well as the soul. It's an ongoing assault that wears us down, measurably aging or weathering our insides, and for some of us, much more than others. Chronic stress snatches brain power by damaging neural pathways and messing with our judgment. It compromises the immune system, it taxes the heart, kidneys, liver, and brain. But does it mean living in the world today that no matter what we do, we're doomed to swim in a sea of stress and all its ill effects, including anxiety, meltdowns, and or panic attacks? Or could it be that everything we thought we knew about stress and how to manage or alleviate it, outdated or outright wrong? Maybe it is time for everyone to get on the same page when it comes to stress. We really should stress less. We want to live longer. And to do that, we have to, in turn, make some daily living adjustments. Now, in the United States, a special report surveyed 6,700 Americans nationwide, ages 18 to 64, cutting a wide path across demographic groups, gender, and health conditions to find out what stresses us and how we cope. The survey panels were chosen to closely mimic the geographic distribution of the U.S. population. So, what did we find? Now, among them, some of the nation's top researchers state they've been genuinely surprised about the extent of harm brought by chronic stress and the lack of attention paid to it. It is a big job to relieve that. But we have to stress less. Now, it's not to say that, well, let's just not care about anything. That's not helpful either. But we have to find middle ground on all of these things. We're going to have to be content with something. Include more exercise, include more social distancing, but social time nonetheless. Now, it's around the season where holidays are coming. So you have a lot of people who have grief that pops up around that time due to loss of loved ones, which can be stressful, especially around the holidays. So coping with things like that, remembering the good times, celebrating their lives instead of being depressed can help. If it's financial stress, that can be a greater burden around the holidays, especially with Christmas right around the corner. But if we go back to the basics on that, we can alleviate some of the stress. Instead of trying to break the bank to buy all these Christmas presents, go back to the basics. What's more important than the gifts? It's the time spent. It's the fellowship within the family, as well as friends, the dinners together. You have to go back to the simplest ideas of what matters most. And they are, in fact, the simple things. The simple things actually mean more. So let's not break the bank on Christmas and the New Year or even huge, extravagant Thanksgiving dinners and things like that. Keep it simple. There are things that we can do to lessen the effects of stress, to help us cope. Getting a hobby, and that can do wonders for mental and emotional health as well as physical. If there's something that you've been wanting to do, that before the pandemic and everything, you didn't have the time to do it, well, you have the time to do it now. Take some time, experience some new things, Experiment with new hobbies to see what it is that you like if you don't already know. And pretty much rock with that. It'll use up some of the time. It'll give your mind something else to focus on besides all the things in life that are wrong. And it can bring a certain type of peace, calm, and contentment to you and those around you. And that's an example we want to actually have to share and show our children and the generations that are coming after us. That there are ways to cope, there's ways to be content, and that the simple things in life matter most. And when we do that, then we can have better success at switching jobs, a better relationship, losing weight successfully. Just everything that you're trying to do that seems just so far out there that it just seems impossible. It is very much so possible. It can be done. Let's live longer. Let's enjoy life and not stress about the things that we cannot change. Let's replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. And it will lessen the stress. So how do we stress less? Don't worry so much. Concern is one thing. Stressing yourself out is a whole nother. Let's live a happy and successful life. And it'll be a healthy lifestyle. So stress less and not worry so much. Be at peace. Enjoy your peace of mind. You have been listening to Daily Health on the On1 Radio Talk Show podcast station, where daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality, which we know it is. If you would like to get in contact with On1 Radio, Daily Health,